Greetings, fellow miniature aficionados. I'm Adam, and this is another solo episode of The Memory Core. Sometimes I see a lot of posts, and they kind of come in waves, talk about the difficulties they have with assembling metal miniatures. And I wanted to go over a method that I use. I picked this up from James Wapple, who is an award-winning painter. He works mostly with oils rather than acrylics, which is different, but he demonstrated this method on some dark sword miniatures. And dark sword miniatures are fantasy miniatures with really fine details. And this seemed like a great catch-all. And in fact, it has turned out to be a great catch-all. The problem with metal miniatures isn't so much the material. Metal will hold superglue just fine. The problem is there tend to be gaps in the miniatures as a result of just the manufacturing process. And I'm not going to bore you guys with that. But because of going from an original to a metal master to a production copy, you tend to get gappy fits in joints. And it's pretty rare if you get a really nice, perfect fit. So because of that, the material you want to use to glue these guys, super glue, has trouble because super glue does not like gaps. Some super glues are advertised as gap filling, but in general, they're not. And so by using this green stuff sandwich method, you manage to solve that problem for yourself. Pinning is still great. Pinning is very viable, but sometimes when you get these delicate parts, pinning can be really difficult. Pinning can be tough. So I'm going to put together a couple joints really quick on this vintage Mauler that I've had for years since I was a kid, and just see if this works for you guys. So really the nature is this sort of green stuff sandwich. You're using super glue to hold the green stuff to the metal. And then the green stuff, as it cures, takes up the gaps. And then you get this really nice joint. You don't need a lot of green stuff, just a little bit. Does that focus? Yeah, just a little bit. Just enough to take up the space. I might even add more than that, depending on how these joints show up. I'll put a little bit of super glue on one side of the joint, take my green stuff on my dental tool, pop it on there, apply another dab of green stuff, or another dab of super glue, and then place my piece, and that's green stuff should take up the gap in the mini, in that joint. And when that cures, you basically get your surface-to-surface fit that you need. I see a lot of people talk about scoring, but scoring tends to have problems because you end up creating more gaps. You end up creating these voids. I'm going to apply this one the opposite way. I'm going to put the glue in the arm first. You can probably hear my cat making a bunch of noise in the background. I got my green stuff in there. I kind of just mush that around. Apply some more super glue. And really the trick is you probably need less green stuff than you think. That seems to be what gets me when I do this. My cat Stormy's making so much noise. Yeah, I'm talking about you, girl. There you go. And yeah, hopefully, that'll hold. And then you're good. Now, I use this method on this guy, this Marauder, Project Phoenix Marauder. I think it's actually a really cool mini. I know it gets a lot of crap, but I really like this guy. But you can see all the joints are weight bearing. Now granted, I did put a pin from the leg down through the base. If you guys can see, there's a little dot there where I use green stuff to hold that pin in place. There's a paper clip. But yeah, I didn't have to worry about how sharp my drill bits were. I didn't have to worry about them breaking. I didn't have to worry about matching perfectly what I was using as my pinning material. And yeah, the green stuff, it holds. It holds really, really well. Don't be shy. You need to use green stuff, not milliput, because milliput just won't work. So you're going to want green stuff or Anita-Tite for this. But don't be shy about using it. It doesn't last forever. Epoxy will go bad on you, especially these 2-part guys. And, with this stuff, you can see how they're right next to each other, the ribbons are. And so, oftentimes I'm cutting those middle portions away because they'll gradually activate each other. You can use the extra green stuff to fill in bases or make little rocks for your basing material. But yeah, give it a go. It's really, really easy. The only hard part is making sure you're not using too much green stuff. You can always do a test fit, a dry run, but as long as your miniature's clean, I go over these guys with a brass bristle brush, and then, so I remove mold lines, brass bristle brush to polish the surface. Don't do that with lead. You can do that with the white metal. But brass bristle brush, dish soap, not hand soap, dish soap to get rid of all the grease and other stuff, and then green stuff and super glue. It works. It holds. It's great. It's easy. Try it. It makes your minis practically bomb-proof. So, yeah, metal, don't be scared of it. These are little workarounds that will make life easy. So try it. Bye, guys.